Hey guys, welcome back to Maxplained to Dawn of War Unification. Today I have not another faction guide for you, more of a general guide again. This time it is not some basic guides, but an advanced RTS guide, I call it. For my basic tips and whatever, I have the video number 1 and where I go over the general principles of Dawn of War, and I have video number 30 where I go over some tips and tricks that most people or many new people at least for Dawn of War forget or do not know. So if you are looking for some basic tips, head over to those videos. This here around is more of an advanced guide. As I am not able to show you what I mean exactly in the, some games and stuff, because it's more of a general thing I will talk about now. I have some some footage of me playing some Inari in the background. It is a free-for-all. I play against some bots, so it doesn't get too boring hearing me talk for all the time. It's not like I have prepared a presentation or something, because would be too lame for you guys. So what is the general idea of this video? I don't know if you have, but if you heard about Sun Tzu, like the Chinese strategy tactician guy from the old ages. He has written a book, The Art of War. And there's one quote, I'm not sure if I get the quote right, because I have only the German version of it and I translated German to English. And the quote is, if you know yourself and the enemy, you do not fear the outcome of 1000 battles. So this is a little cryptic, but what you can use this and apply it to many things, not just strategy, but that's wrong. You can apply it to many things, and not just strategy games, but a lot of things in life where you have strategy involved. But how this is able to be applied to Dawn of War is the question now. And I tell you, there are like 3 layers how you can apply it, like knowing yourself and the enemy, which is the big thing for it. The first layer is knowing like the faction you play and knowing the faction the enemy plays. So know yourself means in this regard know every unit, every ability, every requirement and stuff like that. Like build orders you can go for, build orders that are popular, that are good, best, quote unquote, build orders. And same goes for the enemy in this regard, like the enemy faction, the enemy faction's units, abilities, requirements, tech tree, what they go for, what they will go for probably, what is for them the best build order, for example. And how can you learn that? Good that you are on my channel. I have a series of guide videos, so if you want to have a general overview of the units and abilities and whatnot, you can go and watch my videos, but also the wiki. And what is even more important is go and build the units and try them out yourself, either like in the dev mode and build everything and look how it interacts, or playing against bots will give you some general idea of your faction and also the faction you play against. So this is the first layer, pretty, how should I say, pretty theoretical, not hands-on. It's like knowing everything basically. And there's a second level when you are actually in the game. So it's you playing a faction and it's the enemy playing a faction in a game. So this is the second layer, I call it. So how translate it, like knowing yourself. So like know your game plan. What is your game plan? What do you want to achieve? How do you want to win is the idea. Know yourself. But also know where every unit is. Know where you build your stuff, where you want to build your stuff, where you want to send your units, where you want to attack, where you want to defend. Like know your strategy, your units at all given times. And then know your enemy in this time in the game itself means where are the enemy units? What is the enemy game plan? What can you find out? So there is the key to scout. scouting gives you intelligence of the enemy units, tech, buildings and whatever. So this is like the enemy idea of it. Scouting is generally underutilized in Dawn of War, I feel, because you have like these squads and you're not like having this one unit you can send off to scout. But most of the times people are not looking for it. They play their style and then, oh, there's something coming and I didn't expect it. There are a lot of factions that can scout pretty good. Basically every marine faction has access to skull probes that can actually also infiltrate. So if you get a skull probe out and just send it to the enemy, look to the enemy base, look what units he's going for, what opener is he going for, can I counter it? Is it the opener I was anticipating? Use skull probes. You can also, what is easily used, for example, Tau Empire gets stealth suits. You can put them on, what is it called? Passive mode, so they don't fire, so they don't get spotted by them firing, and even jump them over. Necron Scarabs, for example. If you have some Scarabs that are not building, that are not capping, or you're like postponing a cap or build just to see what the enemy does. And the best thing about Necron Scarabs is that they A, are pretty fast to produce, they are B, only cost you time, which is not a lot because the production time is fast, and they have a really long, really large vision and detection radius, so they are very, very good for scouting. Other means to scout are, for example, for Imperial Guard, the scan. The scan does not only give you detection in the area, but also reveals the area. So you see higher level Imperial Guard player that go for tactical control eventually, or even at the start, there are tactical control openers. Immediately using the scan to the enemy base where they expect their tech to be. So they see, are they going for, let's say if you play against salamanders, are they going for the barracks or are they going for the armory? If they go for armory, you can most likely expect Thunderfire cannons. If they go for the barracks, you can expect marines and a force command and whatnot. So this gives you intelligence. Yeah, and also what you can also use are workers. Workers are cheap for the most part, for most factions. Imperial Guard is not an example, but even like Elder Bone Singers can teleport in, run around the base, see everything. There are multiple workers that can teleport, teleport or jump. For the Chaos Demons, for example, they can also phase shift and decap, so those should be used in the start as well to decap, and also getting intelligence. So this is really important in the sense knowing your enemy, so you can adjust your strategy to meet the enemy strategy on the best answer, you could say. So having the best answer to the enemy strategy. How you can improve on that, like when you are in the game, you are probably not having the brain resources to think of all of this, but what you can do is think before the game. What do you want to do? How can I scout? What do I expect? Where should I scout? When should I scout? That you can do before, and you can watch your replays after your match is finished. Most importantly, your losses, but also your wins. There's always room to improve. So save your replays, watch your replays, then watch from the enemy perspective. What does he know? When does he scout? How does he react to your actions and whatnot? So you can get an understanding how a faction in this regard can be played better. When do you can gather intelligence, what units are used for that and whatnot. So this was like the second layer, and now the final layer. Then here gets a little bit of meta, and the meta layer it goes here. It is not you as a faction playing, it is you, the player playing, versus an enemy player playing, like a human plays another human. How does this affect a game? It affects it more than you might first suggest. What can you do yourself, like, to improve your chances of winning? Most and foremost, you need to stay calm and focused. So I highly discourage the use of like voice chat or something. You lose focus when you talk about with someone else about something differently, or even about the game. Your brain will use resources to form sentences and stuff, which you cannot use in thinking about the game and playing the game. Dawn of War isn't like the APM hungriest game or whatever, but still there's always something to micro, always something to think of, always a unit to go for and whatnot. So not using voice chat is a big idea. What you can also do, or can help you if you're like getting easy upset or something, ignore the in-game chat. You cannot disable the chat, sadly, so you cannot completely avoid it, like seeing the enemy writing something like haha, this was easy or so. But yeah, do not get upset by the enemy, and also do not get upset by your own mistakes. There's like saying, I have already said in some of my casts from an RTS guy I follow. He says at some point in his career, Robbie was it, if you know it from Warcraft 3, he was like always, oh, this wasn't good, so I will lose probably. And he was like at some point saying to himself, okay, I can continue that and like have an excuse. So when I lose and I have an excuse, oh, this was because of this and that. Or I can forget about this mistake and give my best and will probably win. So it's like a healthier mindset in that way. Also, do not get upset by quote-unquote imba units. Yes, there are units and strategies that are stronger or overpowered or underpowered in this mod, but in general there's a groundwork of balance that you can counter most stuff. So don't think, oh, I win because this unit is I lose because this unit is too strong, I cannot counter it. Get your brain working, like what can I do, what could I do, like stay focused. And also, this is more like not stay focused, but also stay constructive. If you're behind, start to think of ideas. How can I come back? How can I maybe harass the enemy economy? How can I stabilize or whatnot? How can I counter this unit? Like, stay constructive. Don't get in a mood, oh, I'm losing, and whatever, no matter what I do, I will lose. So this is not healthy. But on the other way, if you're like ahead, don't get overconfident. Don't push when you can, but only when you need. If you like have more than half of the map, and you have a faction that is not Necrons, for example, that do not need map control per se, you're fine. Why should I attack if I got more resources? I can get more resources, I can tech better, I can get more units, I can get better units, I can even economy boom to even more effects. Like, don't push, just you can. But what you should do is then again scout. If the enemy is like taking up because he wants to go for a timing push, and you can see that he's taking up and you're ahead in economy, you couldn't consider like taking up yourself or producing a large army to hit him because he used resources to taking up. Like things you can do, and just because you're ahead doesn't mean you stay ahead, but in general, don't get overconfident is the idea. And then another thing that you cannot really control as good is like the excitement level. Especially in the beginning when I was playing multiplayer, like the first few times I was like super excited and my pulse was high and I was shaking with my hands. That's something you cannot really control, but I can tell you, if you play more and more games, you get more calm because you are like getting used to it, you could say. Some level of excitement is good because it like brings you to an edge, like you will focus more. If you're excited for a game, you will get more in the zone, you could say. But if you are too excited and like, oh my god, I play against this player and okay, hopefully I do good and something, yeah, this distracts your brain again. This is like knowing yourself, keeping yourself aligned to a meta level game, so you can play your best, basically. But on the other hand, there's not only a faction against you, there's also a player controlling the enemy units. Don't forget that. You can interact with him and you can try to throw him off his game without like playing the game, like outside the game. What does it mean? You can, for example, throw him off if you know units he doesn't like, units he doesn't like to play against. You can use them, so he maybe gets upset and gets in the mindset I was telling earlier. Oh, I hate this unit and everybody builds that, how can I win? This is annoying me. But on a more like friendly level, you will more an idea is, or what is important, if you know the enemy player, you can kind of predict what strategy does he go for. There are like players that go more or less for a standard build, like they go for 1 or 2 builds that they think they are the best and they will go for it over and over again. Players that come to my mind are, for example, Kukai, Number, Refiler, they love or like standard games. But if you have like someone like me or Mr. Blue Dude or something against you, you can more or less expect some cheese. Me, for example, I'm a really cheesy player. I try a lot of different strategies and in every game I get another strategy in my head that I want to use, so there's scouting more important. The other players like Gap PR has a lot of games where he just spams stuff in tier 1. So if you have Gap PR against you, you want to get ready to face early aggression. Gap PR is a player that is really aggressive in the early game with a lot of units trying to throw you off because you didn't expect it. So either prepare your defense like turrets or whatnot, or get units to match the enemy units thrown at you. So that's something you can know, and you can also punish like players that are too defensive. Like for example Tuck, I have cast him a few times. He is very defensive. He likes his defensive factions like Imperial Guard, Death Corps of Greek, Tau Empire, and stuff like that. You can punish that by just getting like an economy boom. Like let him build up his defensive, lose the requisition and power he invests in defensive, and just not attack. Just get the resources in a way to get more resources, and then you will out-tech him. Or yeah, out-tech him is the best idea, because if he is confident in his base and he is like building defenses, a turret here, a bunker there, a heavy weapon squad here, this is all not units that are on the field and attacking you. So feel free to cap the map, get like for example the slag deposits, or get the criticals. If you have like taken hold, you can get him out of his comfort zone and stuff like that. There are a lot of ways you can exploit that behavior of people. Yeah, but there are like a little that is not so, how should I say, not the nicest way you can use try to throw the enemy off, but you know there's the in-game chat. Like if you know that the player, for example, is easily upset, he rages, you can, as I said, build units he doesn't like, annoy him, like hit and run strategies are sometimes really annoying, harass him in his base with a few squads and then teleport out. This is more like a mental attack than like actual attack on the economy, can work. Or yeah, use the in-game chat, try to throw him off. Like if you make something that might upset him, double down it in the chat so he gets upset, so you increase your chances of winning. I know this is not like gentleman's behavior, but you can use it. Another way to use the chat is like if you know that he's easily distracted, like try to involve him in a conversation, like say how are you today, or I don't know, what strategy should I go for, can you help me, like some random stuff that keeps him distracted, and then he maybe does the wrong build order or does miss timing or something because he is reading the chat and even replying to you. That said, you only should use the chat as much as you will not hinder your own game plan. That's without saying. And in enemy that is overconfident, you can also lure in. As I said, you should not get overconfident and attack when you don't need to. But if you know that the enemy is really overconfident in some regard, that he knows he's ahead or whatnot, try lay traps. send out a squad that he sees and he thinks, yeah, I can kill that, and then pull back, and he's like, yeah, I'm ahead, I can push in, and then you have like a lot of defenses or like squads that can jump in and flank him or whatnot. You can lay little traps for that. So you see, like, knowing your enemy can allow for interesting strategies. Yeah, and how can you get better with that? That's really, it's easily explained, but hard to do done yourself. But you can work on your mental attitude. On the most part, it is best, for example, just to watch this video and know about this aspect. Many people do not see this aspect that you're humans playing against another human. So you're not like Thousand Suns playing against World Eaters. You're not just like the faction in game. You are a human playing this faction, and the enemy World Eaters, for example, is also played by humans. So don't forget this fact. You can abuse it. I myself don't abuse like the chat that much because I'm trying to be a gentleman and whatnot, and do not want to win like with every measure possible. But you can use it if you like really want to win like every single game. Maybe you don't find people to play against because you're like they find that you are too mean or whatnot. This is more like if you have a broader community around where you can it's okay to be an arsehole because there are a lot of people who want to play. Unification is a rather small community, so this I don't want to encourage like bad behavior here. It's just that you know there's a level. So maybe even for you to know that you cannot, you should not get distracted by behavior like that. Whew. This was a lot of me talking. I hope the background stuff is keeping you entertained. Are you not entertained? Yeah, if you have some input to this little more advanced RTS guide, please let me know. I know this is feels like a lot of trash talk of me here, but I hope that in some regards I could help you, or I helped you a bit to think about stuff that you normally don't think about playing the game, even in multiplayer, like the all different layers of knowing you and your enemy. In general, I would highly suggest you get Sun Tzu's book. It isn't really big. It's I don't know, 50 to 100 pages if at all. Really a small book, not that expensive, at least in German it's not that expensive, and there are a lot of good stuff in there. So if you're into strategy and whatnot, there are like a lot of basic stuff you can apply not only to games but also to real life. Yeah. Okay, with that I would say as usual, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye!